Hey, beautiful people. It's your girl, Shariza J. Wilkerson. And remember, we're not doing tea time this month. We're doing we time. In honor of the Divas Don't Do Drama, we do business summit. We will be having some amazing guests. Some of our guest speakers is going to be facilitating the workshops and doing different things throughout the summit. So listen, y'all, I am here with my personal attorney, my business attorney, my friend, Jadina Gustav. Attorney Jadina Gustav, let me get it right. Girl power, black girl magic, we're doing our thing. Welcome, thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming out here. I know you are busy, working on some stuff probably for SJW.
SJW Enterprises, yes, thank you for having me.
No problem. So listen, we're gonna jump right into it because I know the people want to hear what you gotta say, but I'm gonna give a disclaimer. We're not giving y'all everything. We're talking about the legal fingerprint to entrepreneurship. Yes. You gotta purchase your tickets to be a part of the summit because Attorney Gustav is going to be, I call her Attorney J. She's going to be facilitating the Start Your Business workshop. And I don't want you to give them everything because they got to be in the building, attorney. But just give us, well, first I want to know, she's also, guys, a wife, a mother, a boss, has her own law firm. So she is doing her thing, like most of us boss babes out there. So we're just going to talk about like some real stuff in entrepreneurship, the legal fingerprint to entrepreneurship. So attorney, if you can just give us some pointers on, you know, I know that you have helped me start several of the businesses, several entities as it relates to SJW Enterprises and the surgery center and just everything that we're doing. Yes. What advice would you give to those that are looking to start their business? I'm talking about from a leadership standpoint, from a, you know, from I guess the paperwork needed and all that stuff. Now we can't give y'all too much. I'm gonna keep saying that. Because you gotta purchase your tickets to the summit. But what advice would you give those that are just getting into the mix of this and starting their business?
Okay, well, you know me, it's all about strategy. And the best way to strategize is planning. I cannot say it more. You know, it's about planning. Mm-hmm. What am I doing? Why am I doing this? If I can understand the why, any entrepreneur, right? If you can understand the why, then it helps you so much when it gets down to speaking to an attorney because you're able to present to me, for me to start a business for you, I need to understand why you're doing it, what is your ultimate goal, and then I can transition you into the process now. But one thing I always say, planning makes a difference because without planning, you're just doing a side hustle.
Right.
But it's when you plan, that's when you're really that entrepreneur. But one of the things I would say, because we won't go into the legal jargon and all that stuff, right. But one of the nuggets that I give whenever we speak, and you guys will hear me flesh it out a little bit more, is about being the manager first, right? Mm-hmm. You have to be the manager first because yes, I can get all your documents together, which a lot of people like to avoid the taxes. I'm just going to throw it out there because we have business taxes that are with either your city and your county. So everyone should, first things first, check with your city and your county to find out if you have any business taxes that will be owed. And this is before you open your business. If it's already out there, that's fine. Go ahead, look on their website, call them. And that's one of the big things that I see get a lot of people in trouble is that they think about, okay, I go on Sun, if you're in Florida, I go on Sunbiz, I register my business, they give me that document, I go get my EIN, and then I'm good. There's no operating agreement. If it's a nonprofit, there's no bylaws. So you want to make sure that during your planning stage, that's when you have a conversation with an attorney. That's when you have a conversation with someone that has already been in business so that you can say, okay, I know these things. What don't I know? Where are the holes for me to fill in? What should I know about this? But at the end of the day, the biggest thing that you're going to find is that you have to, in your planning, find out what do I need to be a success. Right. Not just right now. It's not a hustle because remember, a hustle can take you over to your real business, right? It can take you over to that success, but a hustle is not something that you do for a lifetime. You do it for a moment. But if you want to be a true entrepreneur, you can't just jump in without knowing what comes next. So that's the first thing that I would say.
No, that's good. And I like the whole hustle. Like, you can't look at it as a hustle. If it's your business, you got to treat it like a business, not a hustle.
True.
Because a hustle, you go out there, you're selling something, you're getting the money back, you spending it, you're not putting it back into your business.
Nope.
So that's also something that, I want you to touch on as far as, giving back to your business. And the tools that you need to have. I know the first step is, getting your EIN and all that stuff and your tax, but also as it relates to having an attorney involved in all of this stuff. Because when I first started, it was more so, okay, this is what I want to do. Attorney J is like, okay, what is your why? What are you doing? I'm doing speaking, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Well, you have to have that umbrella company. You got to have your umbrella company, and then you start creating entities under that company. And, creating the enterprise is, a task within itself.
Yes, right?
Right. So, I mean, so many different things going on. And I guess I want you to touch on, again, like that hustle versus true entrepreneurship and running a real business from a legal standpoint.
Okay. So from a legal standpoint, when you're running your business, you have to understand. So if we're talking legal, we have to start off with, what is the government looking at, right? So what can get me in trouble? So when you're starting your business, especially for those of you that God has given you so many ideas, He's planted so many seeds inside, and you want to give birth to these, right? You have to understand that there is a structure. So just how SJW, we have SJW, for example, as the parent company. Not every entity or idea you have should be a separate entity, a separate LLC. There's something called DBAs. So if they're within the same realm, they're doing the same thing. So having the business, I was trying to think of an example where we have the DBA, because even the Best You Now.
Right.
The Best You Now is the name that is used for the surgical center. However, it's a DBA. It didn't need a separate LLC, but your underlying company can create different entities, right? So when it's a hustle, you find a way. I need some money now. I need to find a way to have money. I like cooking, so I'm just gonna go ahead, cook some meals, and then I text some friends, I text some family, see what I can get. So a hustle can be what we call, the testing stage.
Right.
It can be the testing stage. So it's not a bad thing, right? We're not knocking the hustle, but it's a testing ground. You can't stay at the hustling phase, because when you start generating more money, you start getting more clientele. What happens is you get more attention, right? You bring in liability. What does liability mean? You could get sued, right? People want refunds, they're complaining, they're doing all that. But if you do not take those steps to be legally secured, but you're starting to make more money, but you're treating that business like a hustle still. But it's gone up, it's leveled up, but you're still here at the hustle phase in your mind. There's no structure. You take away liability when you go ahead and you do go now and register the business. I make sure it's not just registered, but I have advice from an attorney that, okay, now that it's registered, what do I need so I can continue to be protected? Because a LLC or a corporation, it gives you a protection. So if something happens in the business and someone is injured, or they don't like something, or maybe the food wasn't too well and they're throwing up and stuff, they don't sue you, and you don't lose your house and the clothes that you're trying to put on your children. But the business, whatever the business have, they have to stick with that. But the one thing people don't recognize is the way you treat that business. It can change it from protecting you to actually opening up the door for them to still sue you, and that's called piercing the corporate veil. So I don't want to go into all the legal jargon. We ain't gonna go into all of it. But listen, there are ways where now that you level up, right? You go ahead, you have your business registered, you still have to treat it like a separate business from you.
Right.
Your money can't be in that business account,
right.
the money you spend in, right? You're not using the business things for your personal things without writing it down and having it clearly defined.
Right.
Because I can go right past that LLC that everybody told you was going to protect you. And if I'm up against you on the other side, I'm just saying,
right.
if I'm up against you on the other side, I'm going to tell the judge, yeah, that person had an LLC, but they didn't treat it like one.
Right.
They treat it like it was their own thing.
Right.
So I want to, in the terms that we use, pierce the corporate veil, and I do want to take that house
right.
to pay for it.
Absolutely.
Because it's only fair, right?
Right, because that's what, you're using. You have one account. And see, this is the thing that, when I'm teaching my mentoring group, the ones that are doing their entrepreneurship thing and they're starting off, I'm telling them, you have to open that separate account. You have your personal account. Do not go, unless it's a business lunch.
Yes.
If it's a business lunch and you can write it off, you have to make sure that you have your personal account separate from your business account.
And another thing I want to throw in there, they're separate. Don't just transfer money over.
Right.
If you need to write a check, go ahead and order those checkbooks. Write a check, because in the notes section, you should be putting why this money is going over. What is this money going to? That's what shows anybody, because I'm thinking from a legal standpoint, that's what shows the judge. That's what shows everyone, listen, I'm not just using this for me. This is not a hustle. This is a real business to provide a service to the community that I'm able to still profit from and take care of me, my family, and my needs. So that's something that people really need to know. The way you handle those accounts still makes a difference.
And let's talk about, with the enterprise and having, different entities, let's talk about paying yourself.
Yes.
Because a lot of people don't understand that you are a manager of the business. It's your business. You are allowed to pay yourself. Now with us, of course, we have ADP. We have the whole system. Because I hear so often where entrepreneurs are saying, I haven't even gotten paid. Like, can we talk about that? Like, saying you can pay yourself a salary.
No, definitely. Even nonprofits, because it makes sense when you have a profit business, right? But even nonprofits, you don't pay yourself as a director on the board, but you pay yourself as your other role, because you may have that you're the president, but you're the director of this, right? You're managing this, you're managing that. So for the time that you use, if you don't have the finances, which you will level up to that, to have an ADP system, you still want to have it where you are paying yourself. I'm not an accountant, and I'm not giving any accounting information, but they have it online. There's so many websites, so many information that give you the percentages, right? So once your business makes enough to where it pays all of your expenses, because you don't want to be taken out and now you can't pay bills, because your doors will be shut. But once you get to that point where you can start paying your expenses and there's extra, so you can start maybe at 30% of the extra that you pay yourself. But always write a check. Don't just transfer and cash out. Don't do those things. Go ahead and write something to yourself.
No, that's good. And even, attorney, she's a wife, she's a mother, she's an entrepreneur, and minority business owner. I always got to shout that out, because I got so much respect. Own law firm, ministry, has a lot going on. So when we talk about these things, it's always kind of from the heart, because being an attorney and having her law degree is not just something that kind of fell upon you. It's something that you're passionate about. It's something that you're called to do. This is your purpose, because I'm telling y'all. And when I talk about be strategic, you guys know that's one of the 8 elements to moving different. This woman is strategic, okay? So we have to make sure that we are we listen. You have the resources here. We have the summit coming up. Like, I'm super excited about what God is just going to do at that summit. Like, it's just going to be amazing. It's going to be powerful.
You have to get your tickets.
And you got to get your tickets. You'll see more of Attorney J facilitating the Start Your Business workshop. So make sure that you get your tickets on www.SharizajWilkerson.org. We will see y'all soon. Thank you so much, Attorney J.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. See you at the summit.
Thank you. See you guys later.
Hey.